and thicken for an hour, stirring regularly.
That's goody, that looks just perfect now. Lovely amber colour.
Pour your pear and apple paste into pretty pre-oiled pots. And to seal them, float over a spoonful of melted food-grade paraffin wax. You can buy it from a good preserve supplier.
This will keep the fruit cheese quite perfect for well over a year.
Tim's coming round with the hamper, freshly stocked with his potted pheasant.
Hello! Pam!
And there's even a sampler for Pam to taste.
Gosh, that looks great.
Yeah, a bit special.
Yeah, let's go for it. Absolutely beautiful. Could I have the recipe? Now, pop this off. So that wax is going to come off. Little help, there we are.
Wow.
That's pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely in on looks, Pam.
Just a little wedge.
Wow, that looks pretty special. You gonna have one?
Yep.
Good. Without that in the hamper, we haven't got a hamper. I think Christmas is going to be good, don't you?
Yeah.
When I'm cooking over the Christmas holiday, in fact right through the winter months, there's one root that I turn to again and again. And you can use it in a range of recipes, from the creamy and comforting to the fresh, the zesty and the crunchy. Celeriac, the wonder root. Even if you don't grow it yourself, it's easy to come by. I urge you to get some in. I'm going to show you 3 quick contrasting recipes that make great use of this knobbly, unassuming root. Starting with a celeriac gratin. And you know, the gratin word at this time of year gets me just as excited as celeriac. It's like a big warm winter blanket that throws itself around you, wraps you up in its creamy hug. Thinly slice your celeriac, aiming for a thickness of a 10p piece. This is a relatively slow cooking dish, so you can afford to use a generous amount of garlic. I'm using at least 3 cloves. Then a little heat. Now, I like a chilli that's hot but not too fierce, so you can put a fairly generous amount in and get that colour into the dish without blowing everybody's head off. Once the celeriac, garlic and chillies are mixed together, it's time to season. Plenty of black pepper, more warmth getting in there. Some oil. And now, just to seriously up the indulgent comfort factor, cream. This is roughly 2/3 double cream, 1/3 whole milk, lightly whisked together. 400 mils should do it, but single cream will work well too. Tumble it all together and spread evenly into a buttered baking dish. And straight into a hot oven, about 200 degrees. And cook for about 45 minutes, time enough to whip up another couple of celeriac classics. Firstly, a delicious soup that couldn't be simpler. Because it's 1 clove of garlic, 1 onion, 1 leek, 1 potato, and 1 celeriac. Start by chopping the garlic, onion, leek, potato, and celeriac. And the only other thing you need is 1 litre of good stock. And one made with the leftover bones of your Christmas bird would be perfect. Not forgetting 1 good knob of butter. As the butter melts, stir in the garlic, onion and leek. After a couple of minutes, as the onion begins to soften, it's time for the potato, and finally the rooty star of the soup, the celeriac. Then simply pour over your stock. And that's it. Simmer till the celeriac's tender. About 15 minutes. Then give the soup a final salt and pepper seasoning and blend. This soup is absolutely delicious straight up, but to make it a little bit more festive and special, perhaps perfect for entertaining, I'm going to put a dab of my homemade parsley and almond pesto on it, and a quick swirl, and I think that looks lovely. Really nice. And now for something altogether fresher, zestier, and with a lovely bit of crunch. It's a citrusy twist on the classic remoulade with a lovely toothsome bite. First, juice a deliciously sweet orange and a whole lemon. Next, matchstick your celeriac. A mandolin is perfect for this, but mind your fingers. The texture of these little matchsticks is great. It's just got a bit more crunch. Muddle them up in the orange and lemon juice. It's going to start flavouring them very nicely, but it's also going to stop them going brown. And for the dressing, we need a good hit of mustard, the juice of half an orange, a dash of cider vinegar, a pinch of salt, a pinch of sugar or two, and a trickle of good salad oil. And that I like a lot, a lot. You know, the Boxing Day cold cuts with that on the side, it's going to be beautiful, isn't it? And it all comes together in the time it takes to cook that gratin. Look at that. It doesn't just look comforting and delicious, it actually sounds comforting and delicious. I like that too a lot. A trio of dishes. And of course they all come from the same remarkable root. Thanks, celeriac, for making Christmas extra creamy, extra comforting, and extra crunchy. In this part of the world, pubs are not just for drinking and eating. Apparently they're also for honing our competitive culinary skills. In the summer, I gatecrashed the New Inn's Pudding Club with every intention of blowing them away with some pastry perfection.
Oh my God, the landlord has won it! Hugh, where were you?
Far from winning, I didn't even get a place.
That's quite well done, everybody.
So when I heard that one of our local pubs, the Tucker's Arms, was hosting a gingerbread house making competition, I decided to ease back a little on the throttle of my competitive instincts and put the River Cottage Baking A-team in there for me. Gil and his baking buddy Gideon are heading down to Weymouth to team up with their old mentor Aidan. Now, if this trio of hardcore breadheads can't bake a winning gingerbread house, I don't know who can.
Hi, nice to see you. Yeah, come in. Thanks. To see you. Hello, hello. Anyone got any ideas?
Yes, very good idea.
Do you know where that is?
It's time to rebuild River Cottage as a 3D biscuit.
No got anything in mind?
I've got a great recipe in mind.
Have you?
So I think we better start building.
This is an industrial mix, but for a kilo of flour, you need 300 grams muscovado sugar, 10 tablespoons of golden syrup, and a teaspoon of treacle if you have it.
Just to give it that extra dark tinge and give it a really nice flavour.
Melt all that sugary goodness into 400 grams of butter.
Okay, so we've got some nice ground ginger. Lovely. Some nice bicarb soda.
2 teaspoons of each will do you.
Depending on how thick our walls are, it should be enough.
It should be loads, I reckon.
All right.
Combine it all together and mix it into a dough.
Let's whack it on the mixer. Cement mixers on then. Should have a cup of tea, isn't it? That's what builders do.
And then we're laughing.
Brilliant. So now I make the template, yeah, guys?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's good.
For a simple house, you'll need one template for the front and back, another for the 2 sides of the building, and a final one for the 2 sloping parts of the roof. Then cut them out.
What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, I think it looks
I can
good.
see it already.
Roll out the gingerbread dough, lay the templates over the top, and on a baking tray, carefully cut to the shape of the template.
Yes. Do you think that one's too wonky?
Okay, I'll straighten it up, but that's only because you're a good friend.
You can use boiled sweets to make windows. Lightly crushed, they'll melt as the gingerbread bakes.
Whoa!
And it should bake at 180 degrees.
Okay, guys, first one coming out. 15 minutes.
Wow.
It's looking good, yeah. The sweet's done a good effect.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice little window.
Fantastic.
The boys are making royal icing, not just to use for decoration, but to hold the whole house together.
That's it, mate, that's it. Yeah.
They're building their house around a box for stability. Competition rules state that all visible parts of the house should be edible, so they might just get away with it.
Yeah.
You can cut the tension with a cake knife.
I can't let go of this. Okay, let's do the first roof. It's blowing so much, guys. Whoa!
At some stage it will go.
What's the matter?
It's very fragile, that end wall. Okay, hang on. Good.
Oh, Aid. It's fragile, isn't it?
Cover up any earrings.
Time to create an instant veg garden, ideally before the house falls down.
Got the edible earth, also known as crushed up chocolate biscuits, and the garden paths, some kibbled nuts.
Okay.
Lovely.
There.
They're even making beanpole wigwams from real licorice sticks.
It's just missing some veg, really.
Cabbages and carrots.
Oh, sweet. I think that looks pretty good, don't you?
Thank
Good
you.
work.